All right, and welcome to Wednesday Night Magic. I'm Skybills, and with me I have the Seawolf One.
Hi, folks.
Tonight we're going to be talking a lot about the new standard as well as seeing some standard matches, and this is pretty much as Seawolf has described as the Wild West. Why do you feel that way, Seawolf?
I feel that way because there's more sets than you'll ever see normally in a standard. You have the old sets, you have Dominaria, which is basically a in-between core set, another core set, 19, core set 20, all of Ravnica, and Ixalan still hanging around. So you still have the last stand of vampires and dinosaurs. And quite a stand. I'm seeing nothing but vampires and dinosaurs on the ladder. So Esper here and there, a lot of fairy. And then, by the way, T-Rex is out of nowhere and starts eating things.
And you bring up an interesting point here, Seawolf, because Ixalan Dominaria about to rotate, right? Everybody's minds are on rotation. It's, getting to be mid to late summer. Rotation season's almost here with the next set coming in. Those two blocks will be rotating out. Why would Wizards in M20 print very potent vampire-themed cards and even arguably potent dinosaur-themed cards as well? Why do that when something like Ixalan is rotating and all of the chemistry is there right now? What do you think?
I mean, it creates an interesting meta for the time being, where you can have all the cards available to you, a real mess of cards to choose from. But also, it does imply in the future they're going to either look into having vampires come back. They've been trial for a while now. Vampires, I've been playing since 4th edition. Vampires were overpriced, worthless, and 2%. The Tribal came out with Ixalan a little beforehand as well. So the Tribal's been more viable recently. But now you can simply go back to it and see every set. You're getting some vampires, you're getting some dinosaurs, you're getting some oddball things. And also, fast aggro is kind of cycling out a bit, because come M20, no more Llanowar Elf. So your 1-mana acceleration is the Sloth. That's all you have to do 1-mana acceleration.
And I've been talking this over with several people lately. Llanowar Elf truly is a card that nobody seems to notice is defining this entire format right now. We see Llanowar Elf right now being played in Elementals, which I didn't see coming, but that makes sense with Risen Reef, and we'll get into Risen Reef later because that's its own discussion, quite frankly. And we still have also the Stompy decks taking advantage of Steel Leaf Champion as well before it rotates out. What other cards right now are defining the format? My card right now is definitely Sorin, and Sorin will start to define this format. People don't know it yet, but that 3-drop Sorin from M20 is just a total bombshell that is very difficult to counteract, especially if the person who holds Sorin is going first, has it in their hand, and has a plan for it by turn 3.
Yep. Again, Planeswalkers, not as, obviously they're more dominant now than ever, but, more of the spark. But Sorin himself comes out, and Sorin can tag Planeswalkers. 3 damage to the board for eating a small little token to do 3 damage to what you want to and gain 3 life. That's for 1 loyalty on casting, or actually gaining a loyalty. I'm not even losing, I'm gaining a loyalty to cast Oath of Kaya.
And also, too, as we're seeing on the screen right now, by the way, round 1 is going to be Clifford versus Uncle Drake. Very excited to see this matchup. And on Clifford's side, it looks like we have Goblin Tribal. So that's another thing. I feel like tribal decks, except if you want to jokingly call War the Spark a Planeswalker Tribal, which it very much felt that way for about 3 months or so. Now we have tribal decks. We have goblins, we have vampires, we have elementals. Are tribal decks the wave of the future post-rotation?
They're interesting. We'll see the next set, because oftentimes when tribal decks come out, they also print out tribal hate. Like, you might see, I won't be shocked to see, Extinction come back. Like, they might just print the 4 blacks. It's 1 black, 3 colors sorcery from way back. Name your creature type, those creatures all die. Like, something like that. Like, just aimed hate at, a certain kind of creature type on the board. We're seeing it with the colors already. We're seeing Fry. We're seeing Veil of Summer. We're seeing the color hate come back. We're seeing Protection. Protection was a nightmare back in the days, and they got rid of it and made Hexproof. And everyone's like, oh god, Hexproof is so terrible. I can't hit this thing. Why would I do that? Now you're seeing Protection. Protection is 10 times more terrifying than Hexproof, because nothing happens. I can't block you. I can't ping you. I can't bounce you. Teferi sees a Ceratops and says, oh my god, that dinosaur's going to eat me. He's a herbivore. He's going to eat me anyway, because I can't target him with anything. So Protection is a horror from my days of playing Magic, and it came back for more, which is hilarious. So directed hate, towards certain tribals, or certain colors, is back in Magic, and let's see how to adapt to that in the long run.
So now that you mention it, Seawolf, the last time I remember experiencing Standard with Protection, I know people have been playing Legacy, Modern, etc. The last time I had noticed Protection in Standard was when I started, and it was when New Phyrexia was still in, and there were some swords going on, and again, swords can be their own discussion. You can't help but wonder, do you think they'll ever make artifacts swords, but they'll only have protection from one color instead of two? You know, we haven't seen a lot from artifacts in terms of power since Kaladesh block. Vehicles were a mistake, parentheses. But what do you think that means? Are they going to try to do something with protection? Certainly, these core sets can help to define or even help us predict what's going to happen in the future. Do you think it's possible there's going to be some return of artifacts and swords?
Well, the fact that the new Karn came out, which could be a long-term plan, either for Legacy or for Standard. New Karn's out. Tron is a thing to extent with him and Green Ramp. Artifacts themselves can be dangerous. You see a lot of anthems now. You're seeing a lot of generic anthem cards in the artifacts. You're seeing a lot of interesting like effect artifacts. You know, Wand of Chaos phasing out. No, some people say, "Oh, thank goodness," I'm saying, "Oh, darn." But you're seeing artifacts. Meteor Golem came back. Like they purposely brought back Meteor Golem, 7-drop, kill it if you want to when it shows up on the board. A lot of effects in Ravnica still let you search outside the game. Vivian lets you look outside the game for a creature. Karn lets you look outside the game for an artifact. So sideboards are becoming, in play, and artifacts are slowly becoming more potent. They were pretty weak, honestly. Even in Dominaria had a lot of historics. Artifacts are pretty weak in Dominaria and M19 and Ravnica. But you're seeing again that that making that 6-color quote unquote artifact come back might be a thing in the future.
Yeah, and you remind me too of Karn also, the one that was printed from War of the Spark. Now remember, we have in my opinion, the better Karn rotating out of Dominaria. That'd be Cyan of Viggen, but the new Karn, which digs artifacts out, I have a feeling we haven't seen the last of that. Tron sure may make a comeback, especially with cards like Nissa Who Shakes the World. That again, I feel like we haven't seen a lot of Nissa lately, outside of Elementals, by the way. But there's going to be some kind of facet with artifacts that's going to make a comeback. That's a prediction again. And also we see a little bit of enchantment love. We see in M20 some recursions from Theros, which that whole block was devoted to loving enchantments. So that being said, we have enchantments, we have artifacts, we have the gods, which have recently made a recurrence in War of the Spark. And I can't help but wonder, with us possibly heading to a new plane, or that's what, rumors have been swirling about, will we see another set of gods? And again, you and I have talked about this at length, Steve. Well, if we have thought about maybe there's going to be some sort of other mythology involving gods, maybe the Norse gods, for instance, with Vikings and such.
The rumor of Set Arrow, or Archer as they're calling it, is the rumor that might be Norse-based. And we saw the Greek gods and Theros, more or less, the Egyptian gods and Amonkhet. You see a lot of enchantments come back, and Starfield Mystic is already back in the set. He's already in M20. He's waiting to make your enchantments cheaper and get buffed up when you cast enchantments. So enchantments might be primed to come back, and things that are enchantments then transform again, maybe creatures as opposed to gods at time, but time will tell.
Is there anything in particular you would like to see happen to the standard, or that you'd like to see happening with the format as far as what's rotating out and what's coming in? What do you want to see happen to standard right now?
I want to see Teferi cry.
You
Teferi owes me a great many defeats. Teferi, even Baby Teferi shuts down about 4 decks by existing, so it's a little bit of an issue. Hopefully they can deal with him, because stopping decks from existing right now is kind of a problem.
All right, and here we go. We are underway. Clifford versus Uncle Drake. Clifford playing the Goblins. Round 1, fight.
All right, Cliff is playing a Goblin aggro with a lot of slide stuff, some lightning bolts. Goblins got their buddy back with Goblin Rally, I think it was. The fellow there. So basically you have a Goblin Lord right now. You have 3 or 4 Goblins that can either ramp mana or make them cheaper. So after turn 2 or 3, all your Goblins are costing 1, and things are going haywire. And Uncle Drake, often control player, but we will see what chops up. I see Elementals.
All right, this is something that's very, very realistically a picture of standard right now. Now, granted, you'll probably see still the more traditional mono red, but I've seen goblins floating around a little bit. Again, Wild West weeks right now, so you don't know what to expect. But elementals are definitely one of those types of decks that you will want to expect. So, as we see, Risen Reef, a card that even I have underestimated is in Uncle Drake's hand. Risen Reef allows for so much draw of cards. It's ridiculous. And if you read it enough, if the top card of the deck is not a land, it still goes into your hand, which is where the card becomes busted.
It's also not drawing a card. It's looking at it and putting it in your hand or putting it into play. So Narset looks on and shakes her fist as the Reef keeps drawing more and more cards. And if Chandra pops up every turn you get 2 elementals, guess what? That means 2 more cards. So if those 2 survive in more than a turn and a half, you're behind like 8 cards. It's awful. Right,
Also,
my apologies. Clifford going for aggro. He's popping his goblins to get Krenko out as fast as he can.
correct me if I'm wrong as well, but most of this elemental deck is not rotating Sans lands.
Correct. Elementals are basically all new cards. The only elementals seeing play right now in the back, there's 2 of them. You can run the Explore package on the side of it and have the Bogrowth Walker to get your life gain. And you can run the Mares, the Vine Mare as elemental. I've played a few games against elementals with my green deck, and Chandra is very sad when she wipes the board, and my horses just stare at her and chew on her.
Unclaimed Territory, another beloved card that's going to be missing come rotation and is very tribal friendly as well. I could see a reprint of this at some point.
It's going to slow things down again. Again, the slowing down I'm seeing there. Like, you can play the Gateway Plaza and have your gold card. It gives you any color mana. You got to pay 1 when it shows up. It comes in taps, you got to pay 1 for it to show up there. Lotus Field came out. Lotus Blossoms. Basically, where it's, you sacrifice 2 lands, comes in tap, and then it makes 3 mana for you. So a lot of slow down. You'll have your mana. Just wait your turn.
Yeah, I definitely don't think we'll be returning to a monocolored format anytime soon. That's for sure.
What happens in the new set, you might be able to play like mono black vampires and just ignore the changing out things, or goblins will come back. Who knows? There might be some crazy Norse goblins. I've got no clue. Actually, thinking of red decks, if Clifford was playing a plain mono red deck, he'd probably be a little safer against this elemental deck because he has no way to really burn that reef now. Now that he killed his Fanatical Firebrand.
Clifford's got a plan, though, as he uses the Goblin Prospector to create Goblin Trash Master. Here comes Krenko. This is quite the field right now that Uncle Drake has to face.
Krenko is like the Risen Reef, is like the Thought, the Thief of Sanity, is like the your deck, the Haunt of High Tower. Creatures that are like, they show up there, they're kind of squishy, but kill them right now, or else.
Uncle Drake left with not a ton of options right now. Chandra coming out. Let's see what she can do. Obviously draw cards, but the downside of it is, should Uncle Drake choose to put the elementals on the field, they will go down at end of turn.
Drake's going to do so, try and find another card, because you will draw 2 cards off this reef. But unfortunately, Trashmaster is an interesting beast. He also helps you with artifact problems, and he pumps the whole board. He's an Anthem effect as well. So Trashmaster is actually a terrifyingly good card for Goblin decks. Drake just trying to put buys on the board to get in the way of those goblins. Clifford, I haven't seen the whole deck list. I'd look at it again. He's got a burn spell in there. He's got an X spell somewhere hiding in there. You might be able to just eat all the goblins and go to the top.
I think Krenko is just going to get out of hand very quickly here. And now we have Goblin Wartrief with the ability to give goblins haste. This is getting very messy very quickly as far as board states are concerned.
Haste is a problem now, because when Krenko makes his goblins, thankfully he makes them after he swings. If Krenko made them before it swing, like the Legion War Boss, it would be terrifying, because there'd be 5 more goblins coming at you. This might be enough anyway, but still.
It's unfortunate that those goblins don't come in tapped and attacking, and you would think with the amount that Krenko does not survive, so we don't get to see Krenko survive that often. Typically, Krenko is a shock target, and that's it. Or a cast down. Well, actually, cast down wouldn't kill it, but I'm trying to think of another one. Like, there's just so much removal. Disfigure it out.
Moment of Craving, Disfigure. Yep. Any burn spell, literally any burn spell.
Literally.
Krenko's a 1-2 with baseline. If Krenko survives for 1 round again, oh my god, what have you done?
Yep, jail spells as well. Those are very common.
Alright, so you're seeing Clifford's sideboard here. Clifford has more blocks to make more goblins for free. Banefire to go over the top. If your deck's playing heavy control and he wants to just put out 20 goblins and just eat them all to this protector and make the X equal 20. Very possible.
So, Samut, I'm surprised Samut is not in the main board in this deck because of how relevant Planeswalkers are in this format. But it is a little slow, but the Scry power there is so good.
Yeah, Smooth gives haste across the board again. So does Warchief. Warchief does it for 3, Smooth does it for 4. And Smooth's ability is basically to eat her loyalty to cast Smooth's Sprint. It's basically a copy of that spell on her. So same effect in the end. Elementals has another weakness as well, is that they all come in pretty soft, outside of the Vine Mare being a 3 toughness, and Omrath, the Locust of the Royal, being a little juicier. Most of them come in at 1 toughness.
Also, that has to be a side deck choice for Uncle Drake here, especially with Elementals. Look at that Fiery Cannonade, Seawolf. If that is played at the right time, now granted it may not be as relevant here with Goblin Chainwhirler, but if that Cannonade were to be played at the correct time, it could mean the difference between winning and losing. That's a spicy side deck choice for Uncle Drake.
Yeah, Clifford Chainwhirl is our main deck, just didn't see him last game, so he wasn't prepared. He saw a bunch of 2/2s. He saw Krenko, he saw a bunch of Baby Goblins, he saw Trash Master, who's a 3/3. He saw the War Boss, it's a 2/2. So he's ready to kill 2-drop Goblins, 2 toughness Goblins. Unfortunately, Chainwhirl was a 3 toughness Goblin.
And here comes one of your favorite cards, Seawolf, the Vine Mare.
Alright, this horse is angry. Again, Hexproof. Protection is much more horrifying than Hexproof, but Hexproof in this format, it's not made for anything else, can be a problem. It's also, you're playing against a black deck, it can't be stopped by black creatures. And it's also 5/3. It's unbalanced. Green usually goes heavy on like 4/5s or 3/4s. Like green usually has a higher toughness versus power, but a Vine Mare breaks that mold a bit.
So now we have the Chainwhirler not only dealing damage to the Vine Mare, but now Clifford could have come in with both of those cards if he really wanted to, but wants to cradle the War Chief, and I can't say I blame him with Krenko in hand.
Yeah, Krenko's there. He's trying to draw some fire. The War Chief could have been a sacrifice there. He could attack the War Chief first and baited out the thing to kill the Vine Mare. So he might have blocked or might not have blocked. Again, your Hexproof, you gotta think, like, I can't be targeted. How many wipes you got? How many board shots do you have?
Alright, Leafkin Druid on the field right now. Also, there's still Chandra's Triumph as well, which can buy Uncle Drake some time against the Chainwhirler. So now let's see, probably another Chainwhirler if I were to guess. Chainwhirler, Firebrand, Lightning Strike. It can pretty much be played, except I guess for the Lightning Strike or the Firebrand, I'll have to choose between the two.
Yeah, so Chainwhirl here is interesting. In response,
Ooh.
Triumph is an instant. I might have killed that War Chief in response, so it didn't have haste when it came to play. But now it's like, how do I stop all this?
Well, now I think we're going to see Fiery Cannonade here. Good choice here. But those Chainwhirlers are still going to do 3 damage for now, because haste no more.
Okay, so we got the haste out of there, and got Krenko. Now it's a matter of drawing. What does Drake draw? Because Clifford has gas, so Drake better draw thing right now.
Ooh, if I'm Clifford, I'm just all in with this Firebrand and the War Chief combined.
Yeah, fortunately, Vine Mare is not a pirate, so Kennedy hits it too.
Alright, probably going to see Triumph here for one of the Chainwhirlers. That'll buy Uncle Drake one more turn.
Just barely. And Strike is being held in the back pocket to say, okay, Living Twister won't be killed by it. But definitely makes you think, like, okay, how do I stop this problem?
Well, Uncle Drake will probably lose this turn because that Twister will not be able to hold down the fort, as far as I know. Unless that is a land in hand, maybe use that to kill the War Chief. Yep. It is fortunate. So there might be one more turn.
Yeah, I'm going to forecast a attack, block, and then strike before no damage is done to kill that Twister.
Yeah, Twister's ability. Oh,
Never
and that
mind.
is a Siege Gang Commander for Clifford. What a draw there.
And now we go wide.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because Drake in full top deck mode, Drake now has to either burn, bring lands back and pop lands from his hand to kill the Siege Gang Commander, you gotta kill at least 4 of those goblins to survive next turn.
I believe Seawolf and I were talking before. We haven't seen too much from Siege Gang Commander lately.
Yeah, again, this is the last stand of it. It's in Dominaria, so it's not coming back again. It'll be gone soon enough. But yeah, it's a very powerful card played right. It could be a capstone for a dual deck to sneak that last few damage past the wall creatures or past that. You get that for cheap with a few goblins that get cheaper, and something you can cast that end for a goblet your Teferi, or for a goblet your Sorin, and soften them up.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is Siege Gang Commander will die here, and I think Clifford's just going to put the Firebrand down, go all in, and then Lightning Strike to the face for game.
Yeah, unfortunately, we play a red deck. You've seen all goblins. I don't think Clifford's played the Lightning Strike yet in a match. So I don't know if Drake's seen the possibility of going over the top.
Clifford not even bothering with the Firebrand, just going in directly.
Well, the Firebrand's guaranteed money. He has 4 damage in his hand, guaranteed. So if one goblin gets past this, he can win the game. Granted, Drake has no cards in hand, so options are limited here.
Alright, there's the Lightning Strike. And to be honest, again, I don't think I'd call Goblins meta quite yet, but I feel like it could be in time, especially if more people start to use it. So these are potentially two brand new meta decks. GG to both Clifford and Uncle Drake, and again, I want to make it known, if Uncle Drake's deck gets out of hand, you just don't win against Elementals. There's too big of a card draw advantage at that point. So Clifford had to do what he had to do to get past Uncle Drake before that had happened.
Elementals is strange. Drake didn't see any of the life gain elementals. He didn't see Onrath. He didn't see any of the things that would stop a horde of raging goblins. But elementals is soft on wipe spells. It doesn't like being wiped itself, so it doesn't play much direct burn or widespread burn or wipes. It relies on Onrath to show up, kill the big threat with the direct damage, and then just start pumping out counters and card draw. But I've seen the deck go from then over with elemental. I've seen elemental decks go from 2 health to 18 health in 3 card drops. So it can happen. And some also run the Explore package on the side. So they're trying to hybrid both decks together.
But something that neither of these two decks can handle right now, and it's something to very much consider, is life gain. Life gain is such a thing in this format, and I think if you're running something like what Clifford's running, you'd be best to put a Tybalt into the sideboard. I haven't seen too much from Tybalt lately, honestly.
Tybalt's problem is that it slows you down. I spend that turn doing 5 damage to you, or you cast Tybalt. And in the long run, it would be better to cast Tybalt and make a little creature and be annoying. But some decks have that propensity. I've seen a few Selesnya decks come back. Angels are back now with the Bishop of Wings. So you can play an Angel and get 3 mana. 3 life. Angel dies, you get a thing. So you use all your Angels, they show up there, you get 3 life, and you get a afterlife, basically. So as long as that Bishop's out there, it's a 1/4 too. A 2 mana 1/4, so it survives Clarion, it survives Cry, it survives all wipe spells other than Wraths. So you play that in the right way, and Lyra shows up, Shalai shows up. It could be messy. Angel again had the problem with you're losing Lyra, Shalai, and Resplendent come the new set. So Angel Tribal might be in trouble as well. Yeah, Drake's saying my thought process was basically, trying to stop life gain is too slow. We're trying to make life gain too slow. I'm here to punch you with elementals. And I didn't see the list, but I'm sure Onrath was there. It didn't quite show up to the party.
Mm-hmm. Vampires can do both, though. They punch in the face and they gain life.
Yes, the one color that elementals is not is white. And unfortunately, if you're playing the Sultai version with Yarok, it's a bit slower and a bit less stable, I think. But as long as Yarok shows up, you can get your life thing on there. If you play green elementals the right way, you can get your 2/1s that give you 3 life and they show up there. Play Overgrowth Elemental, when things die, you get life back. So I kind of rewards you for playing the whole tribe.
I'm hoping somebody here tonight plays Vampire Tribal. It's a deck I've been working with all week, and I really do feel like it's one of the best decks out there in Standard currently. Granted, it's a Wild West Standard, but in the current Standard, I truly feel like Black and White Vampires are near unstoppable.
Brings up a point there. The Soren's, well, new Soren's black, but foreign, as I call him, the Ravnica Soren, is a hybrid white-black. A lot of vampires are white as well, built into them. So Soot kills a lot of them. Fry unstoppably kills most of them. So you have answers in the sideboard, especially.
My Haunt of Hightower, which, by the way, is such an underplayed card in Standard, laughs at Fry.
It does, yes, but it doesn't like Lightning Bolt. Again, Haunt is similar to the Reef. It's similar to the Krenko, where it's, I'm here turn 1, you have 1 turn to kill me, but things go haywire.
I honestly love cards like that because it punishes the opponent for not dealing with it immediately.
Yeah, we'll say that the meta doesn't reward solitaire play. Outside of the strange Nexus deck you see occasionally, most decks aren't really trying to be non-interactive. You can't just sit there, put your fingers up, close your eyes, and humming yourself for 5 rounds, and then open your eyes, and the world explodes. Can't really do that in the format right now. There's a lot of action going on in the format.
I would also say, too, that Mono Blue is one of the strongest cards in the format, but Mono Blue has to be going first.
Mono Blue's intriguing, and again, same rules apply on Mono Blue as used to apply to the last set. It's survived a few rotations, a few new sets coming out, it's come back to different iterations. If rules still apply, if one spell gets through, they got a problem. They can hold down the fort like nobody else. But if one spell gets through, oh boy.
And once Curious Obsession goes away, you can't help but wonder how much that deck will be able to survive without it.
The Obsession is, it's super powerful. It forces your hand, but you can't be blocked. Who cares? It doesn't matter. But that card is the fuel for that deck mostly. The Sailor's nice. The Sailor comes in, Flash Sailor with the card draw ability. That's pretty intense.
Alright, so next we have Zelnus versus NY Rambler, and it looks like, if I were to take a guess just based on the colors, it maybe looks like 4-color Dreadhorde Seawolf. That's a little bit of your wheelhouse.
I played it in the Speed Gaming Summer Tournament. Just a little bit there. The 4-color Dreadhorde starts kind of slow. It nitpicks control, nitpicks life gain. It kind of stalls, and blows up in your face. And if you kill it, you better kill it entirely, because if you leave it at 2 health, 2 health's not bad, because you can't really cast and get things back. If you leave it at 10 health, then unless they go off, things get hairy in a hurry. And it kind of, it pays to, if you can interrupt it enough, if you can kill mana sources, if you can kill elves, if you can kill dryads, you slow down. If you can stop Tameo, you slow down. If you can't do those things, you hope you kill them in 4 turns.
And I would say in the current standard right now, in order to succeed, you have to have a plan in mind. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. If you don't have a direct plan in mind, so many decks can overrun you. It's not a matter of a standard where you can wait right now, and this is because of the land right now. Once the land rotates, it may be a little bit different, but you do not have a lot of time to react currently in standard. Well, that's a hand.
Right. A terrifying hand. You might keep this as Teferi's a real annoying pain in the neck in turn 3. Or turn 2 in this case with Llanowar Elves.
Ooh.
Rambler, meanwhile, is playing what now? Let's see what Rambler has. Also, London Mulligan. London Mulligan.
Makes games viable again. There's much less non-games as a result of the London Mulligan.
Rambler is playing Dimir Reanimator. Steal your stuff. So 4-color Dreadhorde Super Friends versus Dimir Reanimator, which, sneakily comes back as Steal Your Stuff, because you have that rogue that comes back to the graveyard for nothing and yoinks whatever he wants to.
I like how Beacon's the reason why Teferi can be played right now. I find that kind of comical considering Zelnus' hand. Ooh, Tameo!
Yep. Tameo's scary. Tameo digs through, gets for the chaff, and goes to the graveyard.
Ah.
But yes, Tameo unchecked basically means don't go game. Don't go game yet. Don't do it. Okay.
There's a good draw there. Jade Light Ranger.
Jade digs through. Explorers will be gone soon. Explorer is acceleration, ramp, and card filtering. It's insane to have that in one card effect.
Jade Light, definitely one of the most played cards from Ixalan, I would argue.
Alright, now we'll see if Rambler... We're going to see the hand. You can see all the land there. So he's going to hold on to that other thought erasure for later use.
That Massacre Girl will also buy Rambler some time later on in this match.
The Massacre Girl seems soft on the surface. If you're playing a deck with actual creatures that ramp up 1, 2, 3, 4, or you have your own things to feed the prime the pump, so to speak, like you can kill gods, you can kill Lyra, you can kill Shalai. If someone, the worst thing you do is someone does a Dread Horde and gets the whole board back and laughs at you. The next turn you play Massacre Girl and just murder everything.
So, did you see what's on the top of Zelnus' deck?
I see the top is Pilgrim, which means Zelnus is trying to play cards for free. Pilgrim is an interesting oddball choice. You had the mana for it to make him do, make a dig and find stuff there. It's really expensive to use that ability, but holy cow, it's what's the word for it? It's light stage, but cats all spell front. We're seeing the funny part here. Blood for Bones seems a little oddball at first play. You can sacrifice a creature, recast it, and revive the creature again. So if you want to have the creature cause effect over and over again, you can kill that same creature and then bring it back with Blood for Bones.
Interesting choice here by Zelnus. I like it because then Rambler can't get any added benefit off of the 2 cards that he currently has. Yeah, that's That's another update. Is it's not relevant to the game, but the cat's actually kind of funny. There are now pets now in Arena, and they're pretty cute.
They're pretty great. Just remember, I don't know if they fixed it in this patch. They're definitely doing some memory issues in this patch between the shuffling and Tamiyo. But previously, if you click the cat too much, the game would probably crash. So, no, scratch his chin. No, it doesn't have to click on it to make it feel better. Just be careful with the cat.
You were talking about the Shuffler. What about it?
Well, Shuffling was giving something with the last update, and they changed it around and got new cards in. The Shuffler's having problems, like if you do a shuffle effect, or digging through your library, or naming cards and finding things. It was really hurting the memory in the game. Like Tamiyo was causing games to crash sometimes. But hopefully they fix some problems with that this update.
That doesn't surprise me. And what else wouldn't surprise me now is if we were to see either Massacre Girl or Thought Erasure here. Looks like NY Rambler is going to opt for... Huh? Nope, never mind.
Pondering options.
Nothing wrong with that. Thought Erasure wouldn't be a terrible card right now unless the Tireless Pilgrim can be played from the graveyard, which I don't think it can be, but I'd have to take a look at it again.
Not by itself. Rambler's problem is that Rambler knows that Command the Dread Horde is the next card. So killing your board doesn't do anything if next turn you just catch Command the Dread Horde and bring it all back. On the other hand, a card that threw in the graveyard by accident, quote-unquote, with the Stitcher Supplier, had this giant 7/7 dragon.
That is a card I haven't seen yet from Rambler's side.
So when he attacks, other than being a monstrous 7/7 beast in the first place, it's 4 damage to something else and 3 damage to other things. That dragon kills the board when it swings.
Does Zelnus Dread Horde here for the Planeswalkers? It wouldn't be a terrible move, but it would also play into Rambler's Massacre Girl.
Zelnus not aware of the Massacre Girl, but I would throw my creatures here, let them die, so be it, and then attempt to Dread Horde to put lethal on board and force that dragon not to swing at me.
I predict we will probably see a ton of Planeswalkers hit the field this turn, and why not? They're so powerful.
So let's just be careful, though. There's no life gain. There's no Wild Growth Walker. So, let's see. Yes, Rogue Link, observe the power of Blood for Bones. You can kill your own creature and bring it back immediately. No, get Massacre Girl out and you play it 1 turn too early. Do it again. Elite Guard Mage, get that mana back. Get those cards. Get that life gain. Hostage Taker, do it twice. Who cares?
Yeah, Tamiyo also gets back, and at this point there would be a Wild Growth Walker. Command the Dread Horde back.
There's
Massacre
blood
Girl's so powerful.
everywhere. It's actually scary. They gave her an animation now. They realized how important she was.
But Planeswalkers will definitely make the difference here for Zelnus.
The problem with Zelnus is you cannot bring back too many cards now with Command Dreadhorde. You're only at 8 health. You can bring back a Wildgrowth Walker and maybe 2 other creatures. So you can't die in the process. You'll gain health when it's over, but before then you can't die. And also, funny part about Rambler's deck, Rambler cannot cast the dragon by itself. There's no, I think, mana. There might be a Chromatic Lantern somewhere, but there's no red mana in the deck natively.
Zelnus definitely going for the Command the Dreadhorde. Some health back.
Be careful.
Yep, there you go. That's exactly what you bring back. And also, Tamiyo should be able, in a couple turns, to go and get that Dreadhorde back, or even go through the deck for another Dreadhorde.
Now see the worth of Rambo's deck. If Rambo can pull another trick off. You see the problem? We're seeing Zelnus play around a possible kill spell or a possible buff spell, not exposing that Wildgrowth Walker to death. Hashtags, come on and join our Discord. And every Wednesday we have the nightly games. You may make the deck for the event, get a hold of us, get involved in Discord and Clean Night, and we'll get you on the roster.
Alright, Paradise Druid seeming pretty good. The more mana, the better. Zelnus finally eyeing, pardon the pun on the red eyeball there, the Pilgrim, but instead going for Vraska, gain some life. Why not? That should kill their only card on their side of the field.
Tomebound Lich, which is the, in my opinion, the latest reincarnation of the Shadow Mage Infiltrator, Shady Bob. I love that guy.
Alright, Wildgrowth Walker to the hand right now.
Keep it in hand, which can be dangerous, except Tamiyo's in play. Tamiyo's side effect, other than also going through your entire library and fetching things in your graveyard with your third hand, Tamiyo also stops sacrifice and discard effects against you. So Thought Erasure is worthless right now. So Rambler's got to figure out a way to get something into the graveyard, get another reanimation spell. Needs Blood for Bones. Needs something to get back there and like pull out that Drekoth again.
I think that's going to do it for game one here. Can you believe that was only one game? This game was so interesting.
I played Dreadhorde. That's one game. It's multiple swings back and forths. Mirror's hilarious because it's basically, you know, Dreadhording first might be okay, but Dreadhording last is best. So sometimes it's a real pain to play the mirror matches because it lasts forever.
And I haven't seen anything quite like Rambler's deck before. It must be a new deck that's floating around. Zelnus, obviously, I'm familiar with because of the tournament, because of you playing it. But Rambler's deck, I really haven't seen quite yet.
This is a bad luck. Rambler has not seen the one Blood for Bones they've seen. They've not seen the other animation cards. Just 3 or 4 effects in the deck that bring things out of the graveyard. Bring back Drukheth, bring back large creatures, bring back the thief that steals things from the graveyard. No one comes to play and steals any permanent it wants to. If allowed to run wild or gets lucky draws, it can, you know, basically it's Simic Clear stuff, but it operates with Thought Erasure in the back pocket. And this is gonna hurt.
Did Zelnus just highlight the dragon?
Pondered it for a second, but that's more of a win more thing. Like, your streak is winning. Don't be fancy about it. You don't need the dragon to win.
Mm-hmm.
And given its deck's nature, it could have a spell to steal it back. So I'd be careful.
Yeah, Rambler does something a lot of people do when they see that many Wildgrowth Walkers go off.
Oh, Leyline of the Void.
Leyline of the Void.
Now, it's funny for Zelnus, but Zelnus is playing a card that doesn't want that to be in effect. But apparently it might be important enough to have that effect in play against the deck he's playing. Zelnus is playing against the deck that is also graveyard dependent. So destroying your graveyard. Now my graveyard has my Wild Growth, has my Explore package. I don't need your graveyard.
Leyline of the Void.
It's also 1x copy, so who cares? it might show up. It might not. Rambler, meanwhile, I'm seeing interesting cards. Plaka Worm. I'm seeing other things. Different ways to cards to put in the graveyard and bring back. That's basically the whole shape of the deck, to put cards in the graveyard and bring it back. Which is hosed by Leyline, Ravdigger's Cage, Kaya, or Ashiok, Silent Gravestone, Sentinel Totem. Yeah, it's a interesting concept, but there's a ton of graveyard hate now.
Yeah, I haven't seen really any ley lines being used in Standard yet. Not as exciting as I thought they would be. What about you?
Leyline, I think, came back to cheapen them up a bit for Legacy and Modern play. Void was getting way super expensive, I think. It's a strong effect. Like, denying graveyards is stupidly good. And a picture of Yarok and Muldrotha doing a high five.
This looks like a pretty okay starting hand for Zelnus. Paradise Druid into Tamiyo seems legit.
Get the beacon, get some life off that too. How slowly do you want to start? It'll be a turn 3 Tamiyo to try and find stuff. And then you gotta start pumping gas. You give me Rambler 3 turns to set up.
Oh my goodness. I was gonna say, that could make a pretty big difference in this game.
It's gonna be messy. Both of them kept hands that are basically like, I'm gonna start this and have no fire at the gate and then hope I draw something. So they both have the same kind of concept where it's like, my hand will be okay in 5 turns if I survive that long.
Ooh, Bond of Revival, too, from NY Rambler's side.
That's another one of those get out of my graveyard free cards. You have that. You have the generic Liliana spell from M19 or Dominaria.
That moment when Rambler discovers that Tamiyo is still going to hit the field.
Yeah, that's not great.
That's why Paradise Druid was so good for the opener.
Let's see here. A long think about it. Tamiyo's gone. What do I throw in there? Surveilling. And Surveilling also is in the graveyard, so Surveilling fuels the Bond of Revival as well if it wants to. A lucky draw.
Well, the combo's in hand as well. Wild Growth Walker plus Jadelight Ranger. This is very good news for Zelnus.
Ruling you will be excellent research. I think you will find my notes helpful.
So says, I'm playing the long game. I want my Dread Horde. I got my Dread Horde.
There's a Disfigure.
Kill the mana. Not a bad choice. With a 4-color deck, needs a lot of variety. So killing something that makes any color mana it wants to, not a bad play.
Subject is easily agitated.
No Thought Erasure, or second Thought Erasure from Rambler.
Rambler sees the card to hand and is not afraid of them yet. Also, Zelnus can only play the Wild Growth Walker to Rambler's knowledge.
The past
I guess Thought Erasure is only so useful because there's Revival from the graveyard in play here with Tamiyo.
Right. And next turn is Dread Horde, so Rambler wants to feed the graveyard to get cards out. And thankfully got Bond of Revival off first. To steal the Cavalier of Night.
Ooh.
Chupacabra, meet your big brother.
The issue is, though, is that that's just going to fuel Command the Dread Horde that much more.
True, but that would have been on... It still gives a creature back to the graveyard on both sides. but now I have Cavalier of Night, and it has haste and has lifelink because it's an angry beast. Zealous getting that back regardless. So it's either Zealous has that Cavalier and kills my creature and gets it back and does this fun stuff, or I do it first. So it fuels Dread Horde small creatures, but denies him the Cavalier. Unfortunately, there's other things in the graveyard worth grabbing.
You think Zelnus takes the dragon?
Wondurgan.
Yes!
I would like to ask about any lunar anomalies you have experienced. To the library.
What does Zelnus want? There's a lot of choices. Leyline.
Zealous says,
Yeah.
I have the advantage of the graveyards. I want to keep that advantage of the graveyard. Also, a lot of life on that side, but possibly, well, let's see. I'm not sure if you go here. Draw a card, spell a card.
2 Biomancers for the field, but that only loots, unfortunately. And NY Rambler just scoops. That dragon's too powerful.
Dragon's coming in for probably 11 damage to a Rambler, plus killing the Homebound Lich by itself. And then whatever could happen to kill Champion brings back.
Dang, Team Bottom just dominating tonight.
It's always one side or the other. It's never a balance. So you see him there again. Dread Horde still strong after rotation. Brings in Cavaliers now. Cavaliers are the new thing. They're Elemental Knights. We're losing our 3 hard cost creatures from M19 and Dominaria. And we're getting these 3 hard casts plus extra mana out of Cavaliers, which do stupid things on arrival and on death. So they're really powerful.
Dread Horde may work with a slower vampire after rotation. I hadn't even thought about that. It's black. If you choose to go Dimir vampires, which is what we were talking about earlier, that could certainly be a deck.
All Dread Horde requires is either you stay healthy enough to cast it, or you have life gain to offset the damage it does to you. As long as you can power it with your own life points, you're okay. Dread Horde gets weaker. If you get punched down to 7 or 8 health before you cast Dread Horde, it softens up much less potency. You need to have the power cast it. You can gain life afterwards. You can do the Explorer package, get life afterwards, but you can't die first.
So it looks like we have another Team Instant Speed classic showdown here. It's looking like Roguelink versus Uncle Drake is next, and I expect to see something aggro from Roguelink, and right here, Boros tokens. Now, will Feather be in the deck, and with the name tokens, I want to assume no. So this could be an original brew here by Roguelink.
I mean, Feather brings back all instant and sorceries that target things, right? Or
Yeah.
it's just simply instants you cast go back to your hand. I think Feather is simply I think it's got to be buff spells. So I'm not sure if it's going to be viable to have Feather along with this stuff. Aurelia, perhaps, certainly. Chance of Glory wouldn't shock me.
So I wonder if Uncle Drake's going to be using elementals again. It would make sense given the new format, and they'd probably want to test a new deck.
To be fair, you've seen my stack of decks. I can play like I have the urge to play different decks all the time. So unlike when I played Ganondorf for 4 years straight, literally, and playing Smash, actually when I play Magic, I kind of mix up a bit. Golos is hilarious if he's strong by himself. Has a nice effect when he shows up there, and then if it happens to oh, I have enough mana to proc the super ability, have free spells. Why not?
All right, here we go. I'm pretty excited for this one. I want to see what Roguelink's running in his deck. It's a secret to everybody.
Secrets. All right, so Drake goes back to the elementals.
Ooh, all right. So when Roguelink says tokens, he means tokens.
We got your Krenko, we got your soldiers, we got your Vanguard. We got Sarkin with a migraine. And Drake's playing, nope. Gruul.
All right, so you were right, Seawolf.
It's a spice of life.
Too many
Makes me
decks.
prefer- So he's looking for 4 mana trample. That's Slice of Death.
Alright, this whole match is going to rest upon Roguelink's ability to at least draw a 3rd land as soon as possible. And that's probably possible with Tormenting Voice, but that would still set him back a turn.
Still, Drake needs to play a very wide defense. Because you're getting, if a 3rd mana is up, you're going to see probably 5 creatures on the board by turn 3, 6 by turn 4, 8 by turn 5.
What do you ditch here? I almost ditched the Grim Initiate because it's the least powerful card.
Unfortunately, yes. Nope, goes to the 4-drop, which can slow him down. And with a mana drop, Initiate comes down anyway. It's free block, though. I mean, just trample for the Spellbreaker, but Initiate at least a mass when it dies. So if the elf tries to be cheeky and do a swing, it'll kill the elf. And bring a body back in the first place.
Now, normally that much land from Uncle Drake in the hand could be a death sentence. However, Growth Chamber Guardian actually makes that whole ploy work out.
The Skynet Vanguard is the 1/2 flyer there. So Skynet Vanguard. I believe it's haste and not mentor. I think it's just haste and has a flying.
It's haste. Actually, I don't know if it has haste. It does create a soldier token when it flies, though, or when it attacks.
So when it swings freely, it's weaker than most Boros things, but creates more bodies.
It's again one of those. If this card is left unchecked, it does stuff.
Just flying. Yeah. Okay, so haste was another effect. That's how it's gonna play.
Yeah, if that had mentor, it'd be like a rare or mythic, because then it could make tokens and give it mentor with like the slightest pump.
It's too weak though. It's a 1/2. It can't mentor anything besides one clerics or the egg from the Phoenix.
Yeah, it's a brand new card.
It's not actually Boros. Alright, we're seeing Uncle Drake try and defy the land flood by sending out many crab elves. And Roguelink just trying to flood the field with little dudes. Until now!
Ooh. Do you do that, or do you wait until Krenko is a thing?
Nope, I make them cry. I make them say, alright, I'm gonna put you at... No. You have 4 large creatures, fine. Now you can't swing.
That's fair. I would be terrified of Domri if I were in Roguelink's shoes right now. Domri is such a force to be reckoned with, and I'm talking about 3-drop Domri.
Yes, Domri and Domri's Ambush. All the fight spells, they don't actually fight. So green has that in spades. Blue has a really nasty one. Basically, I can use my creature as a removal spell and not be punched back in return. Yes, the Anarchabolus, who gives them all +1/+0, which is terrifying. Punches things, which is terrifying. And makes mana, which is terrifying.
That is another unbreakable formation that Roguelink just drew.
Yep, so Roguelink's trying to bait out a swing. Because even with Unbreakable, Roguelink cannot go in for the kill this turn. And next turn.
And that is the fear of running a deck with all of those mana dorks. There are just times where you draw them and they just do nothing.
We're seeing the massive sideboard of Roguelink involving 3. Yeah.
You can't help but wonder if Rule of Law would be a decent card for Roguelink when played properly against a control deck, maybe.
Yeah, it slows it down pretty bad, but as long as you can, get your board down, then drop it down to lock down the board. You put things down in pace. Same with like Dampening Orb. Those cards are not great by themselves, but turn 4, turn 5, fantastic. Meanwhile, on the Drake side, we're seeing rule stuff. I'm seeing possible addition of the Immortal Sun.
Yep, that's about the only card I can see.
I'm seeing a 3/3 there, a 4/3 there, so Phoenix might be coming in or coming out.
I'd certainly use Phoenix in this matchup.
Yep, Phoenix can eat a token, not care. Like, you have to work much harder to kill that Phoenix than he has to work to kill your tokens. Not sure if, given that the copies on the ground there, I don't think the Immortal Sun went into it. Now Drake goes first, which always helps.
Yeah, going first in this format does put that player at a pretty substantial advantage.
Gamer, why do you go second? Why do you not strive for greatness? Go first. Alright, lots of removal. I'm seeing lava coils, which probably came in sideboard. Strikes have come in as well. Against tokens, not great, but against the producers, fantastic.
Who has the better opening hand? Both of them look really good.
Roguelink has two hands, Roguelink has two draw spells, so Roguelink's hand can be evolved to a future better hand. But with the 5th mana now, Drake has Sarkhan, which will make tokens cry.
Especially 1/1s, I hear.
Of course, Unbreakable Formation, may have something to say about that, but that's a whole other monster.
Alright, just load the field up right now.
So what were the Drakes brought in possibly, you know, like a Flame Sweep or a Wipe Spell?
Well, I mean, in this case, Sarkhan kind of is like a wipe spell.
It's reactive though, and Roguelink and Drake knows that Roguelink has Unbreakable Formation. So it's a Wipe Spell that only works on 1/1s.
Uncle Drake not wasting any time in making the 4/4 Drake.
You Infuriate. A powerful new buff spell. That's a feather one more being God's will and everything else. Don't do it, Link. Don't do it.
Uh-oh. Everybody
No.
forgets about Sarkhan's passive.
You weren't watching last time I played. You weren't watching when I ruined the field with a Sarkhan Drake and a Death Touch spell.
Okay, the Obliterate was a pretty good idea.
Well, Infuriate, actually, yes. Obliterate's a whole other monster. Infuriate is a terrifyingly good buff spell, but yes. It also means that if Sarkhan's dead, or the Drake is dead, like, kill your dragon or kill Sarkhan.
What do you
Of course it's a choice.
save there? Do you save Sarkhan?
I saved my 4/4 beater, because how many buff spells do you have?
But here's the thing, Sarkhan picks off the 1/1s. I would have been tempted there to save Sarkhan.
But Sarkhan needs the dragon to help that. Like, Sarkhan cannot pick off 1/1s without the dragon. They both need each other to make that effect happen. If you had a Sarkhan Hellkite in the hand, yeah, no, kill the Drake, haha. But for now, you gotta have the body.
Indeed. Here we go here with a swing from Grim Initiate as well. It makes sense.
The Initiate kills everything in the field. You don't want to trade up your mana dork for nothing. And Drake with the Lone Fry in the hand. So, nothing. Okay, the Vanguard will probably die to it. But it's kind of a waste doing 5 damage to a Vanguard.
Alright, Snubhorn Sentry here, not bad either. I think you just wait till the next turn and just unbreakable everything.
Yep. I mean, that guy has to attack because lol, Warboss Goblin. But yes.
Roguelink apparently wants his $2. Oh,
Well, the one has to attack. You have an Infuriate hand to kill that dragon. And the Initiate will trade off with the Druid, so don't waste your mana dork.
alright, Uncle Drake left with a matching Legion War Boss. Not bad.
Alright, so tokens versus tokens now.
That's really good for Roguelink there. Now Roguelink can go horizontal. Oh, you don't play Unbreakable right now, I wouldn't think, though. Not
don't
yet.
waste- You're not getting the benefit to it. There's no point in worrying about. No, I know Narset's passives. It's not that I cast spells in defiance of it and not caring about drawing cards, just to do things. Because screw you, Narset.
That was the card Uncle Drake needed. Skargan Hellkite.
I've always got to figure out, do I hold on to my Unbreakable to save it from being pinged to death?
I'd only buy him a turn. At least Unbreakable would make Legion Warboss a little stronger.
Yeah, because actually Warboss would be out of play then. Makes it can't do anything, but 3/3 makes it. You don't need to be actually only one more mana. So a land draw lets Roguelink kill regardless of the Unbreakable this turn. Because it's 4 mana power, that really good ability from the Hellkite. And there it is. So start wiping the board.
The one time you'd want to see a land.
It's both decks. Roguelink's used 2 of his draw spells. Drake is kind of top deck as well. Now it's just the scramble of like what comes next. I'm really not happy about this, I bet you. Because Roguelink really wants to say the thing. It's not gonna die, because if I'm Uncle Drake, I proc it again and shoot again.
Yeah, I think this one's going to game 3. Skargan Hellkite is just too powerful.
Yeah, these 1/1s, 1/2s can't stand up to it at all. And 8 cards, probably down to 7 cards in the field now with the constant pinging going on. So Hellkite will probably keep the board clear, stop Ascension from happening.
Yeah, I'm thinking if I were in Roguelink's shoes, now again, we don't know what's in Roguelink's deck, but I would think something like Lyra would be decent in the side deck as well.
Yeah, a lot of decks that have white in them on the sideboard will run Lyras right now while they can. Because, you do a lot of damage to me. You're playing mid-range or long-term aggro. So I have time to build a 5 mana and drop a Giant Angel and get my life back. A lot of the Esper decks are now running Lyras on the side because, I'm playing Control. And, by the way, turn 10. Here, I have a 5/5 Angel.
Roguelink going first, though, that's going to make a big difference in this matchup.
Not if you draw a butt hand. Keeps the hand.
Hand's not bad for going fast.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Domri is going to make a big difference for sure.
Drake has the hand to kill everything that is played. There was a Fry, there was a Let Me Strike, there was a Domri. Death has come to Roguelink's side of the field.
You think Uncle Drake going second is going to try to play this from a control standpoint, or just lay down the Growth Chamber Guardian?
I'm killing Warboss if I can. That's just me. I am stopping all your threats. If you have a turn 5 drop, which I haven't seen in 2 games now, I'm not worried about it. I have my Warboss to go through, but I'm also a control player.
Roguelink would have to draw pretty good to win this match from here on out. It's possible, but Roguelink would have to draw exceedingly well.
Decree will help. Decree will stop the Warboss, and will probably stop Domri. So those 2 cards will be wiped out when they show up. But Growth Chamber Guardian is still a monster.
Oh, I look forward to seeing you running away.
Yeah, Growth Chamber Guardian is going to overrun this match at this point.
There we go. Surprise ambush from Infuriate, perhaps.
The Scry could make a difference, though.
You haven't seen the last of me.
Oh my goodness, how many lands has Roguelink drawn at this point?
Alright, now watch the trade. Behold. What's through? Uncle Drake knows that the board is in my favor. I'm not going to risk getting buffed to death.
Yeah, Uncle Drake can go pretty wide now.
Very important. Will Roguelink attempt to decree this before combat starts?
I believe Decree is a sorcery.
No, the decree cast in the last turn. In response to Domri, the Roguelink decree to kill Domri after the mana effect. But unless you don't go full control, you cannot remove that thing before combat starts. That's still a UI problem. Warboss causes that. The Rotting Regisaur, the new dinosaur, the black dinosaur, it still discards without permission. So I was playing with an instant and it pitched it before I could cast it on the dinosaur.
No, it is a sorcery.
Oh, now how do you get rid of Domir last time? My brain.
This is probably going to be a pretty slow death.
Yeah, again, so Drake's having the problem now. It's all dorks. So the Roshima gets around it to an extent. There'll be a couple 4/4s on the board soon. But you're giving Rogue League time to draw answers, which you don't want to do.
You never want to give a token deck a chance to draw answers.
So it will not save the Roshima Guardian, but it will allow him to draw another Crab Elf. Catch a day, get more crabs. Alright, so Rogue League draw on land, which is not great.
It's one of those times where you wish there was like a fast forward button on the match. It's like, okay, we know what happens here. What happens next?
Yeah, don't say that. I've stolen 2 games on this particular broadcast.
I wonder if
Game's
Roguelike
bad.
has any kind of board removal.
Not by default, to my knowledge. There is the... It's gone now. In the original Ravnica, there was a kill all non-token creatures. That was hilarious, but that's not in the format now. At least buying time. No buffs yet. The cruelty of removal.
Pretty good series between these two, though.
Yep. Overwhelmed tokens again. Wants to go out early, fast. Oh, Drake forgot to pump the Roadshimmer Guardian. So one more round for Rolik.
That's all that's going to be necessary there, though. This goblin has to attack.
They brought the field just for pity's sake. Phoenix arrives. There's a flex. And the crab's coming to finish his job. Alright, Roly mentioning in chat that, yes, I forgot how the Sarkhan works.
Yeah, Sarkin's a tough customer, and a lot of people forget about the passives of the Planeswalkers from War of the Spark.
Alrighty, let's see here. So you see the difference between tokens and Gruul. Gruul, no, has a lot of mana acceleration, which means you can draw on the dork at the dork at the dork, which can kill you. Tokens, wants to go wide and really fast. But if anything happens to tokens early on before they get pumped or buffed, things go sideways very quickly. So you get a variety of decks though. We've seen elementals, we've seen goblins, we've seen Gruul, we've seen not quite feather, we've seen tokens, we've seen Dimir Reanimator, we've seen 4-color Dread Horde. We've seen all kinds of decks.
Yeah, no repeats to my knowledge.
A good variety. Fitting for the new meta. Who do we have next? Who's on the docket?
Clifford.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
How are you fine people tonight?
Good.
Doing fine. What's up?
I'm doing good. I can't complain.
So what do you think of what we've seen so far tonight, Clifford?
I think that
Hello.
This is
Hello?
very, Down the hall.
Link too.
I always forget how that Sarkin works every time.
You didn't watch the match I had last time where I put that touch on a dragon and killed the whole board?
I saw that. It's so mean, Seawolf.
It was my Sarkin. It was I stole it for the Dreadhorde.
I mean, that's fair. No vamps tonight, though. I'm sad about that. I was hoping to see some kind of vampire build go at it.
I mean,
Well, I was
it's
torn
still
between Boros and Vamps, and I thought people were expecting more. I think people were expecting vampires, so no one wanted to bring vampires.
Nonsense.
Aww.
I also know that my vampire deck is the probably the lesser of the two variants, because I know there's a I want to build the token version, but there's too many rares that are rotating out that I don't have. So I didn't want to go all in on the token version, so most of my vampires are from M20.
I won't lie, I built a token version early on and had very little luck with it. It definitely had a lot of new wipes. Didn't hold up too well to the meta. I spent a lot of painful time trying to keep them alive. They would just cry and ruin the board, or Wrath once and that'd be the end of it. Because you can't bring tokens back in the graveyard.
Oh, no,
Yeah, that's one of the things I like about my Boros deck, is it's really, really good at rebuilding after a Wrath. I have almost every single one of my token generators in that deck is a repeatable token generator. With the exception of the, what is that called? The two white, the reinforcements, that's right.
Well, with the amount of Wrath that's in format right now, and that includes Planar Cleansing now as well, as if we needed another Wrath, you definitely want to be able to build some facet of your main or sideboard around being able to reconstruct itself. Absolutely necessary in the standard, no questions asked.
Yeah, Vampires definitely has some trouble rebuilding, at least the builds that I've been toying with.
4-drop Sorin. So good. And then, of course, Adanto Vanguard until rotation. Champion of Dusk as well, with drawing cards.
Yeah, Champion of Dusk's really nice. My deck's kind of life gain light, so I don't have the Champion of Dusk in there, but that is a pretty sweet card.
Also, Sanctum Seeker is surprisingly a decent budget card to go into that. Oh, we're already going into the next matchup here.
Nope, we're doing discussion. We have Ashby showing on stream. First time on, we'll see them play random opponents.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Don't tell me that. I just used that.
A lot of people were talking about elementals, and they're very good. But again, I cannot stress enough that you need to watch out. If you do run things like that, and even vampires as well, you need to watch out for not only just the regular board wipes, but you need to watch out for Cry the Carnarium, which will probably make a comeback now in Control, Goblin Chainwhirler, which will be ever so present up until the last day before it rotates. There's just so many cards that either ping or wrath at this point.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like... shoot, I do not have a mind for cards right now. The 2 and a white make all your creatures indestructible.
Unbreakable formation.
Yes! Or Order 300, as I like to call it.
There's also the baby version from I think it was from Dominaria, where it's stand, make a stand.
Yeah,
where it does
make
the
a stand's
effect
also
basically,
really good.
It's not as busted, but same effect for same cost, basically.
Yeah, that's really good because you can just drop down that indestructible. Obviously, you want to play it when you get the tokens and just swing in, since they get vigilance as well. But playing it defensively is really, really nice.
Honestly, Roguelink, right here, this is the deck I expected you to play. This is Feather. Feather is an exceedingly powerful Boros, or even Naya in this case.
There's a very unique clip there. I've seen a few Gruul Arcanist decks, but I've never seen a Feather Naya yet.
Yeah, Feather is definitely a really neat card. Clifford's rocked a lot of Feather.
Feather's one of my favorite game 1 cards. Then you just boarded that strategy completely out for game 2 and 3, and it's the best.
Yeah, I actually haven't gotten a chance to play with Feather yet. It's probably a deck that I would love to build, but I've been keeping my eye so much on token strategies, and I've been wanting to build this Boros tokens deck for a while. So there's that 2-drop, that the Sky Vanguard was just what I was looking for in the last like 3 sets. So as soon as I saw it, I'm like, it gets in. We're building Boros tokens. Let's go.
That makes sense to me.
Another deck that I keep having my eye on, but I haven't built yet, is Abzan tokens. That looks really interesting, where you have all of the like green token builders or the Selesnya token builders, but then you also throw in the black-white vampire that drains for 1 every time one of your creatures dies, as well as the black-white zombie knight, which makes your opponent lose 1 life whenever a creature enters the battlefield. I'm just imagining that with the big token creatures, or big token cards in Selesnya, and it just feels like you can get so much damage in. But I think you're spreading yourself a little too thin with that deck, so I haven't gone all in and actually tried brewing it up with the wild cards and such.
And so you're witnessing, unfortunately, it seems to be a loss through collisions, nasty. But Feather being 3/4, 4 tough. 4 toughness is a real problem for most decks. Feather's a 3-drop, so it dodges the spark, and has 4 toughness, so it dodges all the white damage spells, Cry the Coronarium. So Feather requires a direct, dedicated kill spell to finish off. And it's legendary, so cast down is where I got it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You know, for a lynch,
Fortunately,
it's a very strong linchpin for a deck.
yeah. Fortunately, the white hate card that hits red cards is just straight up exile, so that's convenient.
Yeah, so game 1, Feather will tear you a new one. Feather's answered by sideboard mostly. Like, some people playing Feather on best of 1 because it's once you have your deck tuned to it, it's gonna be a real problem to stop recurring spells over and over again. Especially when the spells are God's Willing and Divine Strike and Reckless Rage.
Yeah, Feather is definitely really strong in best of 1.
How do people side deck against it? They just put like a ton of Wraths in or something?
You have to be able to kill Arcanist, which is a 3-drop. By the time you get to hit the Legionnaire, it'll be 3/3 or 3 or 4/4 and Feather. So you gotta have 4 damage or kill spells at the wazoo, or Graveyard Hate to, basically stop them from recurring things over and over again. And we're seeing here, our player here, Motokori Ashby on the Discord, is coming back from nothing, from like 4 life, and wipe the board and things back, and we're seeing Niv Mizzet do work, because Niv Mizzet gives you a whole hand to play with.
Wow, did you see the animation in Niv Mizzet? That was really cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that animation's new.
It's been around for a while, but they tweaked it to be in a different spot. Now it's like, hey man, how's it going? I'm here to fill your whole hand full of cards.
I'm not sure I've ever seen Niv Mizzet cast in Arena, I guess, if it's been around for a while.
A few months back, I played Niv Mizzet deck, and they actually got off like 4 times. I was playing Dreadhorde, and it was a long game. I won in the end, but like they basically casted Niv Mizzet like 4 times. I wasn't even used to it. They just kept bringing it back over and over again, and it's crazy. But it only gets multicolored cards, and it's still a 6/6 flyer, so it dies to everything. If you got damage for it, it's not gonna be great. But if you got kill spells, who cares?
So besides the color-specific hate cards, which everyone seems to really enjoy this set, especially the ones that, nuke to fairy, does anyone else have any favorite cards from M20 so far? Or overperformers?
Ringleader.
Hello, I'm Fizzy Ceratops. I'm here to ruin your entire day.
Yeah, Ceratops just puts Mono Blue in the dumpster pretty hard. Honestly, like there's nothing they can do about it, and that's one of the most powerful decks in Standard right now is Mono Blue, and one card just thwarts it. I would say New Sorin is probably one of the best cards from the new set.
Yeah, I think New Sorin is also one of my favorite cards. Like, he does nothing outside of the vampire deck, but boy, does it cook off when he's in there.
When you're a card that can bring new cards such as Haunt of Hightower to life, you definitely deserve another look at.
Also, if you're doing smaller vampires, it's like mid-game, end-game, and you're playing Esper, playing Mono Blue, and Sorin happens to get out. Okay, fine, I'll -3 and not cast my vampire. I'll put it onto the field. So your 3 absorbs and your 2 Sinister Sabotage don't mean jack to me.
Yeah, my personal favorite is the turn 1 1-drop vampire, the Knight of the Ebon Blade.
Oh, it's so good.
Turn 2, either 2 1-drop vampires, don't care which, or the one that pumps all your vampires. Turn 3 Sorin into the 4/4 that drains for all your attacking vampires, and then you just win the game after that. You're so far ahead.
Hightower does the same function as Sanctum Seeker there as well, too. And it takes your opponent's cards away as well.
You'll never see vampires getting haste, though, which is unfortunate.
Nah, it would be too OP at that point.
Now, if you do Mardu vampires, black, red, and bring in some nut, and do really dumb plays.
Oh my gosh, that Niv Mizzet animation is so adorable.
I'm back, guys. How's it going? I'm gone for 2 months. Around was blown to heck. What do y'all do?
Was it actually 2 months in story?
I don't know that in story, but just from I'm talking about release dates. No,
Okay.
he was there in the first set, wasn't there in the second set, and he's back in the third set. So obviously, 2 months later, like I leave you guys alone for 3 weeks. 3 weeks to leave you alone, and the whole stage is blown up.
I mean, if you play 5 colors and get out Niv Mizzet Reborn, you kind of deserve to win the game. It takes so much guts to play 5 color anything, especially in Standard.
I'll speak about Feather because the opponent now knows that next turn there's Ravager Worm, there's Into the God Eternals. The kill spells are on board, so you better have God's Willing in hand, which you do. You gotta save it to say something.
Yeah, I really hope all of the Theros cards from this M20 set, because we know 100% that the next set will not be, the next plane that we're going to is not a returning plane. But it's open season after that. And my personal theory is that the next set, we're obviously getting something new, but after that, we're either going back to New Phyrexia or Theros. Those are my current theories.
We gotta go bury Gideon. Let's do it right. Oh, they tapped out, which means no God's
Actually,
Willing.
that's a good point. If they're going to actually bury Gideon, they'll do it on Theros. I actually hadn't thought of that. That's a really good call.
They have the card already in his a spellbook. Pretty grim to have your spellbook have your cards. Oh, by the way, you're dead. But they have it.
This is a heck of a 5-color deck from the person we're watching right now. I didn't even know such thing existed.
I've seen it a few times. It's basically have all the answers and just like when Niv Mizzet shows up, take what you want and solve the problem at hand. The problem at hand now is that the Honor Guard is stopping the Ravager Worm from killing everything. So Niv Mizzet can't go off again.
It definitely helps when all of your answers are exactly 2 colors, because then Niv Mizzet just pulls it up.
And we're game 3 now because Vanguard, Honor Guard does stop that. But Honor Guard stops the Mizzet, it stops the worm. You might have to go Unmoored Ego here and beg or Ashiok and just try and remove that graveyard.
That's what I would be thinking as well.
And again, so Feather is interesting again because Esper and Orzhov, game 2. Oh, I'll bring my 3D Sparks and take care of all my problems. All the cards that you're afraid of in Feather are 2-drops and 3-drops. So you can't actually do that. Disdainful Stroke doesn't matter because it's all cheap spells. You can't do the Sparks, the creatures cost are too cheap. So all like the generic catch-all saves. Don't worry. You have to actually sideboard in just for Feather. And you don't want to dedicate your sideboard to stopping just one deck.
Yeah, which honestly makes Feather really versatile in that regard. When someone has to specifically board in hate cards just for you, and it needs to be a decent number of them, they're either not going to do it because it, screws their deck up for other matchups, or you're essentially taking useful cards out of their deck and then following the Clifford plan, just board Feather out, and that's basically some free cards that you don't have to deal with.
It's good times. It's good times.
All right, so chat. I've got asking me about the Sultai Dreadhorde, BUG. So no Teferi. So straight up explore package, possibly Golgari stuff, and then bring in the Dreadhorde there. So let's see. I enjoy it. It's more stable. You lose white, you lose a few oddball things that can really swing the game in your favor, but you have a more stable mana base for sure.
So,
No. I've seen good 3-color decks.
So what's your thought on the Enter the Dreadhorde decks once you lose the Explorer mechanic and that extra life gain?
I'd
That's the
still
next
use
step.
it. In Vampires, I would still use it if you had 4-drop Sorin on the field and could get life back right away.
Depending on what shows the next set, I can see white-black Angels with the Bishop of Wings getting a Homes of Life early game. Seraph for the scales, a few other Angels there. Life Gain Angel that's there now in the new set in M20. Maybe the Flying God Angel that's makes something indestructible. And then once you have 40 health, turn 6, 7, 8. You kill 3 of my Angels, I'm bringing them back now. Plus Planeswalkers, plus my Kaya, plus my Sorin who's bringing them back anyway. So depending on the new set, if they give you MO for it, if they give you new Vampires, they give you new Angels, they give you new Life Gain cards, it's all depending on the new set. Because Explore Package is a big deal.
That makes sense. It feels a little riskier, trying to get that buffer first and then trying to pull off the Dreadhorde as opposed to everything triggering on Enter the Battlefield, but I could definitely see that still being a pretty good deck.
All right, I think from here I'm going to take my leave. Some great games we saw tonight, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing where the standard goes.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
me
for
too.
sure.
It's gonna be. Look at everything that's viable right now.
It's
Sky?
definitely a real fun standard.
Yes.
It's not just all Azorius control or Esper control.
Thanks for hanging out and talking and stuff.
Of course. It was fun to watch the games and such, and I'm interested to see where Standard goes tomorrow. I have Fandom Legends, so I'll really get to see what people are thinking about playing, especially from the Magic Pro League.
Oh yeah. Good luck. Good luck
Thank
tomorrow,
you.
everybody. Make sure to watch Sky compete in the Phantom Legends. Cheer her on.
But yeah, thanks for having me, and y'all take care, and I'll see you next week.
Take care.
All right.
Also, what is with this Technicolor Dream Kitty? I have no idea what's actually triggering that.
Well, it's the opponent's cat, so they changed the update that you can actually see your opponent's cat color.
And there we go. Right on cue.
Excellent work. So you're seeing the power of... It's a very strange deck to build for because it has so many different things coming at you. Like, you don't know your plan until Nivid hits the field and then say, okay, I'm going to draw these 3 answers instead. So you have that ultimate flexibility.
Oh.
As long as you get the 6.
Yeah, it looks like Ashby's deck is pretty aggressive, but can certainly pull it off. I don't wonder if they used the same deck all the way up to Diamond.
It'd be interesting. It's definitely viable. I've seen it before. Again, it's one of those decks, kind of like Dreadhorde, kind of like Esper, where the first 4 turns you get smacked around, you take a bunch of hits, then like turn 5, you're at 8 health, you put your foot down and say, nope, that's enough of that. Meet my giant dragon.
Yeah, and it's hard to deal with a 6/6 flyer normally. Let alone one that gets you that much card advantage.
Yeah, I think it's look at the top 10 cards and grab, one of each pair. So you have infinite flexibility.
It looks like Ashby did in fact use the same deck all the way up to Diamond.
Superb. There's
Yeah,
something
I honestly
that
find
Anthony's
myself
used.
not playing ranked all that much. I find for Arena, I pretty much just want to jump in, jam some games real quick before I go to work, do my dailies, and go from there.
No, I enjoy the. I don't mind losing. I enjoy the, the big like. No, the struggle of it. No, two decks evenly matched. I hate blowout games. Like I enjoy games that go 12 rounds and people are scrabbling with top deck for answers. Like no,
That's fair.
I play Magic for the for the headbutting, more or less.
For me, it's a lot. At least I might try the new standard ranked, but I know the last couple of standards. Every time I jumped into ranked, it was like, oh look, it's the same 3 decks over and over and over again.
I think Kira pretty good. I've seen a lot of different things. Like yesterday, I made a Mardu dinosaur deck to test out, and suddenly dinosaurs appeared. I'm like, that's kind of weird. I haven't seen dinosaur decks in months, and now everyone's playing Rule dinosaurs or Mardu dinosaurs.
Yeah,
So
a
there's
lot,
variety.
a
out
lot
there.
of variety.
Y'all playing best of 1 on the ladder or best of 3 on the ladder? You should be playing best of 3 on the ladder.
I have the best of 3 because I'm a psychopath and I enjoy losing to Esper decks repeatedly.
No, best of 3 is where it's at. It's the
As
best
opposed to being a best of 1 player where I'm a psychopath where I lose the red decks all the time.
Yeah, I definitely. It's definitely back and forth. For me, I don't want to use the wild cards building a sideboard, so I usually jam best of 1.
That's an important distinction. Yes, having I have enough wild cards to build meta stuff. Like I have no problem building most meta decks. Like as time goes on, some players are going full free to play. We have to kind of pick and choose what you get. It does kind of hamstring you when you have best of 3 ranking because you got to make 15 more cards and they got to be potent stuff. That's not.
That's
And
true.
that's pretty much how I'm approaching it. Is I basically build 2 decks per standard. Save up the rare and mythic wild cards to get those key linchpin cards that I really need. But at least I've built up a decent bank of common and uncommon cards now, so I can just fill those decks, just fill up all of the rest of the stuff. I think I've got 40 uncommon wild cards and 60 common wild cards right now.
I won't lie. I haven't spent that much in the game, but I don't do drafting. I basically just save up gold, and when new sets come out, I just buy packs the wazoo. So I have like 200 something common and uncommon wild cards because I just basically don't spend on drafting, don't spend gold on that stuff. I just wait. I have like 80,000 gold. New set comes out, and I just buy 80 packs with in-game gold and say screw it. And then the vault
sense.
procs twice.
Generally
Also,
speaking,
the vault's not gone yet, so use the vault.
yeah.
Have you guys used your new codes? The codes that they have now for level up and brought back to
Yes.
get your extra experience? Have you make sure you use your code?
Yes,
I
I'm
personally have.
at a very high level.
I'm only at like 14 or something.
I'm at 15, whatever. I'm joking, but no, you get a bunch of experience points. It's basically a free level for a thing. So brought back all
Mhm.
capitals and level up. I think not all cap. Actually, it is all capitals as well. I think.
I don't think it actually cares about casing. I think when they usually tweet out about it and stuff, they have specific casing just because it markets better. But I don't think it actually matters. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, so Magic is making a point now. The new changeover to incentivize, free play. So you have the codes, you have different quests, you have ways to get money back and in-game stuff to feed the mastery tree.
Yeah, I don't usually buy into the mastery trees and stuff like that, so I don't have the cap. But I generally approach free-to-play games as all-in free-to-play most of the time. I know for a while I was jamming sealed, but I haven't even had time to do that.
I really, really like this draft format.
Oh yeah?
I enjoy it a lot.
And
I
I've
love
It
seen-
definitely
cool.
seems
I
like
love drafting.
a fun draft format.
And I love core set drafting because it just boils the game down to its basics. And this core set is lots of fun.
Yep.
Yeah, it's still this. I think this core set's super fun because it still boils it down to, just the basics, like a core set does. But boy, is the power level really high for a core set.
It's just basics, yes, but it's things are coming back that you weren't expecting. Like protection coming back. Like I never imagined there'd be just straight protection in Magic again. Like Hexproof's been around for years now.
The reason for protection coming back makes sense, though. I remember reading or hearing somewhere that they basically brought protection back because colored specific hexproof just didn't work super well or was especially confusing, something like that.
It can't be too common. I mean, the Knights from M19 had it. Veil of Summer gives it now, so they're saying on one hand they're saying, "Oh, this is hard to use." On the other hand, they print a card out with the effect. So who knows?
I've always been a fan of protection, so I'm glad it's back.
I mean, protection is a nightmare from the old days. If you've never had to deal with a troll aesthetic wielding a sword of fire and ice, you've never known fear. I can't target you, I can't kill you, you regenerate, and I can't hit you with any other spell in my entire deck.
I know I personally really like Heroic because some of my first experiences coming back to Magic were Theros block God's Willing on a Heroic creature. And boy is that good.
Yeah, it's like, I'm alone, and I am enough! Here I come!
Yeah, I still remember my first draft of Theros. It was only the second time I'd ever drafted at all. No one was picking up the Heroic Pegasi, the 1/1 for 2 or 3 that if you target it with a spell or ability, it gets +1/+1 counter on it. Super good. No one had realized it yet, so I managed to pick up 5 of them and just blitzed over everybody.
I'll never forget the first time I got killed by a bird of paradise carrying a sword of fire and ice and a sword of light and shadow, and just trying to figure out how a bird of paradise holds both of those swords.
Alright, so that brings me to a point with
Birds
the
don't
elf.
have hands.
I have 2 talons. In my left talon, I have fire and ice. In my right talon, I have life and death. I am the bird of Shakespeare. No, but on that note, the birds are gone for a long time. I was saying a few years back when I was playing original Ravnica, mind you, there was a discussion that Magic didn't want to have, Wizards didn't want to have Birds of Paradise being the green creature. Green was I am big, stompy, angry. They didn't want the green creature every deck being a 4 of was a 0/1 bird. And then that kind of turned down to the elf. And now they don't want the elf to be the Magic creature for green. It's not a 1/1 elf. No, we want you to be a giant 5/6 stompy monster for 3 mana. That's what they want. That's why they've kind of slowed down the mana ramp and they've made them basically gone.
Well, they seem to go back and forth as well. There was an article a while back, don't remember how many years ago, but they essentially said, someone took it out of context when Wizards said Llanowar Elves is too strong for Standard. And what they meant was it's too strong for the current Standard, because whenever you have Llanowar Elves, it kind of warps the design of the whole set, because it's a 1-drop that ramps. So every green spell is just a little bit more expensive to account for the ramp, and then you end up with more ramp, and then you have things like the current Standard, which there's 4 or 5 mana dorks at 1 or 2.
Yeah, now it's
Yeah, something
basically
like that.
they're all 2 drops, the extra abilities now. So they're all dorks now with a bonus added effect. Like the Paradise Druid is a mana dork that can't be targeted until it does its thing. The Elemental is now an 0/3, so it's I got a big butt. You can't really kill me, and I get more mana if there's more Elementals out. The Druid, Information Druid is
the 1/3.
Yeah, 1/3 says I'm here, I'm 1/3, good luck killing me with the cheap spell. Or the 0/2 that's I can't really hurt you until mid game when I turn to a 3/5 beater. And then by the way, I crank out 10,000 mana.
Yeah. And then not to mention the 2/1 hexproof, but only when it's untapped. Real interesting. That card has some really interesting design, honestly.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's a 2/1. Yeah, it dies to things that are wide across the board would make sense, but it also can punch you. Yeah, it punches you for it's worthwhile punching you with 2/1. It's not it's not slashing combat. It doesn't work, and it's basically you're paying upfront to guarantee a spell later on. Like, unless you wipe the board, there's a guaranteed mana of your choice, any color you want to. It's deferred benefit.
I think you guys are missing the best mana dork of them all, right?
The guy or two.
Skirk Prospector.
Oh, the goblin?
Yeah, the goblin. It turns all your other
yeah,
goblins into mana.
I am a mountain.
I had that prospector in my Goblin Queen deck when I was tearing through Wednesday Night Magic with that, which is super good. So for those who didn't see it when I was playing it a while ago, Goblin Queen is essentially Judith hanging out with a bunch of goblins, and one of those goblins is the prospector. And Judith, whenever a non-token creature dies, you ping a creature or deal 1 damage to any target. So what you do is you take your prospector and you sacrifice your, board of goblins, getting all those Judith triggers. And where do you put that all that mana? Why, into an X spell that deals damage and can't be countered over 5, essentially doubling all the Judy triggers.
I love X spells so much.
Yeah, Judith plus goblins was probably one of my favorite decks in recent memory.
Now go full bar crazy, do Mardu, and have Judith, have Teysa, and have goblins just dying repeatedly, and everything dies twice, and pings twice. Then throw a fireball.
Or the Jund prom night, as we like to call it, with Judith and
Domri, just
and Domri, yeah. Then all of your creatures get +2/+0, and are super annoying to do anything with.
that might come back. That might be a thing. I made Mardu Dinosaurs. It's pretty good. I can't get the last 2 damage in. I get them down like 2 or 1 life, and I just can't get something else to pass to finish the job with the Mardu Dinosaurs. It's real scary. Like by turn 3, you're at like 5 health, but like then something happens and I can't finish you off. So I gotta find a way to get extra life damage in there.
That's pretty nuts.
And they're all beefy creatures. Like they're all dinosaurs. They're all 4/5, 2/3, 12/12. So yeah, good luck damaging me to death.
Yeah, I've been trying to make Mardu work for a while now, but I feel like every brew that at least I generally come up with, it's just more consistent to boil it down to the 2-color version. Like do the red-white or the black-white.
Yep. Yeah, there's so many choices, but for stability, like you can't guarantee you're gonna get anything good out of it with 3 colors sometimes. So Ashby unfortunately didn't have the mana available to Clarion, and thus lost the game too. Which means we're going back to direct challenges between our actual community, so we can see our players. We do play-by-play.
Indeed.
And I'm guessing Ashby is going to be bringing the same deck that they brought last time. At least that's my current theory. I guess we'll see if they're going to be bringing the same thing or if they've got another trick up their sleeve.
I love
And
science.
I believe Zelnus is usually control, right?
Zelnus goes control heavy, usually some mid-range action. But again, brand new meta, brand new cards. I don't dare to guess what people do now.
Fair enough.
Which Sky always assuming like, oh, he's playing controller now. Oh, he's playing aggro right now, and I always bring the wrong deck. So I do not assume my spectated decks.
I know for me it's easy. Just like, is there an aggro deck in the format? Yes. Rogue's probably playing aggro. Is there a tribal deck in the format? Yes. Rogue's probably playing tribal.
I'm upset that Clifford didn't play. I didn't see a Dreadhorde Butcher on his side. There was no Dreadhorde Butchers in Clifford's deck today.
No, there were not. It was all goblins. All goblins all the time.
I was very upset about that.
You know, when you said Dreadhorde Butcher, for some reason my mind went to Butcher of the Horde, and I was like, what? What are you talking about?
No.
On a related note, Butcher of the Horde is a really good card. One red, white, black for a 4/5 flyer, I think? Sack a creature to gain lifelink, haste, or another one. It might be Death Touch, but I don't think so. Very good card.
Scary stuff.
Yeah, Silent has my number. Is there an aggro tribal deck in the meta? If yes, there's your answer.
So be it.
On a related note, my vampire deck may be an aggro variant.
Oh no! Yes, Arena is case sensitive, therefore you must type in the precise name to challenge your opponent.
On a related note, boy am I glad Arena supports copy pasta.
Kinda had to. It's like we created direct challenges, and a week later, everyone's computer's on fire and I flip no tables. We don't have copy paste action. Because your name is alphabetically correct, spelling important, punctuation important, calculation important, and 5 numbers at the end.
And then you realize you used the wrong match settings with your opponent.
Yes. Am I launching a nuke or am I playing in Magic? Game underway. I should be right back once I hit the head for 2-hour streams thus far. So we're turning on.
And it looks like they're trying to figure out the right people to play here. But we should be starting soon. Still curious to see who's bringing what. Because I was not paying attention, and I didn't see what Ashby clicked on. But hopefully we'll be starting here shortly.
We should be getting started very quickly now.
I missed nothing. Glorious.
We're actually on game 2.
No. I missed
It's
the
okay, I'm
godhead.
lying.
All right, chat. Well, any questions you have about the meta things we've seen? I'm with the Diamond 1 now. No, I've watched Skylar Mythic. I've seen tons of crazy stuff. So let's see. Any questions about the meta things I've seen, or things that we've seen playing the game and possible changes? Let us know. We'll try and fill you in.
I just realized Chain Whirler's rotating out.
You bet he is. We replace all of our hard 3 drops that are godly with hard 5 drops that are insane. The Cavaliers. Okay, so let's see. The meta went crazy. The meta went crazy because it took advantage of tribals that existed already and gave them new gas. It basically took the fire that was dinosaurs and vampires and poured a whole gas station on top of them. Also, the color hate, which says, okay, now red can answer Lyra. Red can answer Esper because it has Fry. Green can answer Manipulation because it has Veil of Summer. You can't steal my 4-drop dinosaur for nothing. So it gave decks, ammo against the current meta decks.
And it looks like we're cooking off here. And it looks like Ashby is in fact rocking that same deck that we were watching them play while we were chatting.
Alright, so we're seeing the 5-color Niv Mizzet, which seems crazy on paper, but there are so many awesome multicolored cards. And so much mana available right now.
And it looks like Zelnus is on Drake's, if I'm reading that hand correctly.
Possibly Drake's. Drake's still a thing. It's still really angry. It's still very fast, and once it's explosive. One round of one cracking Drake gone wild, do 14 damage to you in one turn. So you think you got the game under
Actually,
control? Here we go.
I wonder if Drake survives, since Chart of Course and the like are going to be rotating out.
Again, it's all based on the new set. If the new set comes out with replacement cards or things that are close to effect, it might be interesting. Maybe
Yeah, 'cause
Chart
I know
Course
that-
becomes like what's the one? It's two mana blue spell that lets you look at the top 5 cards.
I think I know the one you're talking about, but I'm not sure what the name is.
Yeah, it's Jace looking getting spaced out.
Ashby going with a Thought Erasure, also realizing that Zelnus is on Drake's. Not sure what they're going to take here. Looks like they're thinking the Saheeli, but Zelnus already has 2 of those. Looks like Ashby's going to at least get rid of one of them.
Yeah, one's a fair play. As far as Ashby can tell, Zelnus has no land, so 3 drops, 4 drops, 5 drops is not as scary. Again, Drake's similar to the blue-black deck you saw before with reanimation. Wants to get crap in the graveyard and bring it back for cheap. So every instant you cast, every spell you cast, that Drake gets beefier. That Phoenix comes out faster.
Not to mention you discard all of those Phoenixes and just bring them right back.
Because the big question is, does Zelnus put any new cards from the new set in from M20? And does Zelnus run the Goblin Ultramancer, or does it trust to have card draw natively?
Zelnus certainly has a lot of card draw between the Expedition, the Discovery, the Tormenting Voice. This might actually be closer to a Phoenix deck than a Drake deck, looking at all the discard.
That being said, Ashby has found the 5 colors of mana to bring out Big Bad Niv-Mizzet.
Which unfortunately 2 shocks are not going to do it against a giant 6/6 flyer.
Against most
No, you
colors.
need at least 3.
Now, Beacon Bolt's probably in there somewhere, which will probably do damage, but that's later on. Most colors can handle Niv-Mizzet, but green can have Collision, Colossus, Signal Red. Black has his kill spells outright. White has gel spells. But for straight damage, like a Phoenix deck or a mono red deck trying to do straight damage to you, Niv-Mizzet's a problem, because Niv-Mizzet's got 6 health.
Yeah, fortunately for Zelnus, that Drake is extra big right now. And
Surprise.
Saheeli's just going to start making copies, so Ashby
Surprise.
can't really block with that Niv-Mizzet.
Yes, Healy on paper, it looks like an annoying. I make spam blockers and I do things. I'm annoying to you, whatever. I don't want to kill you. Like, killing you is wasting my time. My 2 spells to kill you is not worth the trouble. Then suddenly it transforms to a Drake or a Nicobolus or 2 copies of a crazy artifact. And it's like, oh, what have I done to myself? I have made mistakes. After trying to buy some time, which will not work in the long run, because that Drake will come back and probably be cloned again.
Here we go.
Yeah, the Drake. Zelnus probably going to play the Drake again. Maybe an opt first to see if they got a different play in hand, depending on what they draw.
Ooh,
White
what's the
Spark
board?
is pretty big there.
It says, screw these Dark. I'm going to kill Saheeli. I'm going to kill the board. I'm going to gain some life.
I must accept defeat.
And that does get rid of the cloning of the Drake, at least.
Yes, the cloning problem is interesting because it gives it haste. A 7/4, 8/4 Drake by itself is scary enough. When it gets haste out of nowhere, that's a real problem.
Going
Yeah,
to the
and with
opt.
that E-Spark in hand, that'll be able to get rid of the Drake permanent.
But spoilers, more Drakes to come.
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
Shh, spoilers, though.
But there's more answers. Teferi's around again. There's Raptor Worm, which will eat the Drake if it really wants to. So Ashby has answers for 2 more rounds for that Drake. So that Drake needs to have haste natively.
Wow, Zelnus just drawing back-to-back Drakes here. without even filtering their deck.
Yeah, Drake wants to play. Drake wants the action. It's got 9 in the graveyard. It's all pumped up. It's ready to go. Ash going for the kill here, which is interesting. Then we use all the tech on stopping the Drakes. Wants to try and have the visit kill it itself.
Oh, and Zelnus conceding.
I was backed up for some odd reason. I'm not sure why. All right.
All right, so now we're gonna get into best of 3 setup, and then just have them go to game 2.
Yes. Bring me more action. There's going to be a tweaking on the side. That's the other question. Does it also update the deck for M20? There's a good chance. It's been a week or two, but some players have not adapted their decks yet to the new format. A lot of the old decks have not fully gelled with the new cards yet.
I know a lot of the decks, and maybe it's just because I tend to brew very synergistic decks. I usually don't branch between formats. I know especially lately, I've been less improving my deck for the next with the new cards and more, building it from scratch with similar colors, but usually just retuning it from the ground up.
So it takes. I'm playing a tournament on Saturday, the big Spiffy tournament that Colonel Elias is running, and I have a deck I wanted to use for it, but I don't have time to tweak it. There's so many new cards, so much crazy stuff going on. I can't tweak the deck the way I want to.
So what you're saying is you're just going to power ranked for the next 48 hours to tweak it.
Yes.
Sounds correct.
I don't need to sleep.
Sleeping is overrated. I don't know how people can sleep.
Yeah, but no, but in reality, the Modern Dinosaurs, it needs some work to it. I'm trying to figure out how to get that extra last bit of damage in. I trade some oddball characters out for some lightning bolts that just go over the top. It's a very interesting deck. It's a very strange build. But
So it looks like we can get the full view of Zelnus' deck. Looks like it's just classic. I think this is closer to a Phoenix deck than a Drake deck, since it's only got Crackling Drake and not the other one whose name I can never remember. I'm real bad with card names today.
that'd be the Enigma Drake.
Exactly, that's the one.
I'm a student of the game.
It's like I could tell you what a card does. Good luck with the name, though.
It's like me driving. It's like, oh, go down that street past the Home Depot, make a right turn. What's it called? Nah, the street past Home Depot. Just make a right turn.
No, that's the name of the street.
I've only lived here 30 years. Like, I don't know the streets around here.
It's like I'm terrible explaining the controls of a game I speedrun because I don't know the controls. I just do them.
Yeah, it is in my being. I don't press buttons. I don't press A or B or X or Y. I just do the thing.
Step 1, do the thing. Step 2, repeatedly do the thing until the game is over.
Do the thing frame perfect or else. Or die in shame. Alright, so we're skipping to game 2 per se. So Zelnus has already forfeited game 1 on purpose to recreate the situation. So we now have a sideboarded game 2 going on now. War. It shook up twice. It shook up when people said at Reclamation, oh, Reclamation is a good spell. We should cast the spell a lot more often and cast Nexus 8 times straight. And then, oh god, Teferi. Why Teferi?
Because of
sure
course
why Zelnus is keeping that Temple of Epiphany on top. I guess for the scry, that's pretty helpful.
It's filtered
And yeah,
Scry.
bottoming that mountain. There we go.
It's good for Scry, and also Zelnus had no other red mana source. Like Drake was not playable right now. And now it is.
That's true. You need that double. You need that double red.
Yes, Ram because super creatures. Every guild had that hard 2/2 creature or 2/2 spell. Whether it be Kaya's, whether it be the Siegebreaker Giant, which nobody cares about, whether it be the Drake. It's like you gotta have the hard cast.
Oh, and living the
Zelda's
dream.
drawing just what they need to populate that deck. It's going to be a pretty spicy Drake next turn.
And also a Angry Phoenix this turn. So high octane action from Zealous, getting every card they could possibly desire in the first 3 turns.
Yeah, Zelda's playing quite a few cards. I'm not even sure what they were at, but that was definitely, what, 3 or 4 cards with only 3 mana, thanks to the Electromancer.
Yep, it's been doing work. Ashby throwing out the Crassus just have a blocker, kill that Drake or kill the Phoenix. But now you gotta wonder, do I put these through and block that Drake this turn? Or do I kill the Electromancer and stop these shenanigans?
Well, looks like Ashby is choosing to slow down the shenanigans at least. But with Zelnus being at 5, soon to be 6 mana, I don't think the Electromancer is... killing the Electromancer is going to help nearly as much as Ashby's hoping.
Gotta start somewhere.
Fair enough.
This is back.
And one great place to start is Niv Mizzet Reborn. Giant 6/6 on the battlefield. Certainly dwarfing the crackling Drake right now.
And
But
drawing
with the opt-in hand
answers.
and only one more spell, that Niv Mizzet's not going to be nearly as useful against the Drake.
That's just fine. However, the big story is the other cards gotten by Niv Mizzet. So, Ashiok, which is interesting play, but doesn't stop the Drake. It stops the Phoenix pretty hard, but doesn't stop the Drake. Tulsamir's life gain, Mortifies a free kill, and Crass is a big butt blocker.
Now, Mortify is just destroy, not exile, correct?
Correct. Mortify is back from the old days of my Ravnica. The Ravnica I remember. It's simply, hey, you are something I don't like. I'm going to kill you now. Because Iron Master, I think, back then, it was a very good card to have.
Mortify and Putrefy and then Wrecking Ball.
I was so sad that Putrefy didn't come back. Putrefy was so stupidly good. And Wrecking Ball was not as fun because it was 4 mana to cast. But you got a Bedevil, so kind of evens out.
Ashiok going to town,
I can see.
getting rid of at least one Phoenix.
Yeah, so Ashiok is a good sideboard choice. It stops all graveyard shenanigans.
Now-
The Drake needs exile too, so it doesn't matter too much of the Drake itself. But for Ashiok per se, or for the Phoenixes, it's definitely a problem.
Yeah, and considering the 2 primary creatures of Zeldis' deck are the Crackling Drake and the Phoenix, this essentially turns the Phoenix off.
Yeah, basically, once it's dead, it stays dead. It's Silver Bullet for the Phoenix. And Zealous, playing the fact that Ashby has 8 life. Pondering concession. But goes in with its Rust Barrel. What do I draw first before I quit?
Today I craft my victory.
Hey, it's Tolzimir. But not a Tolzimir from a Ravnica you remember.
No, my Raptor's gone again.
On a related note, there seems to be just a tiny bit of Wolf Tribal in M20. So I wonder if the next set is going to bring in more wolves, and they can give me yet another tribal deck that I have to build.
Well, if it's going to be especially Norse, which is the rumor, it's going to be a Norse mythology kind of thing. Wolves are kind of a big deal in Norse mythology. One kind of eats the moon, one kind of, kills Thor. Wolves are a big deal in Norse mythology.
Whoa, spoilers.
He's already dead. Been dead for 2,000 years.
It's got cool wolves, it's got a horse with, 8 legs? Something like that?
Yeah, I'm not both versed in Norse mythology, but if they haven't gone there yet, it's totally a good place to go crazy. It's oh, it's not Ice Age, it's not Cold Snap, but guess what? They all got beards and horn helmets and they're drinking like crazy. And more gods? Sure.
Yeah,
bring 'em.
Norse mythology makes sense, especially considering how long it took them to get to Egyptian mythology or Greek mythology. But I
Will not dissuade me
don't know, I don't think they're going to go all in on gods. We've had a lot of sets with gods the last couple of years.
I've already told you with my tweet that they're going to make Soren wearing a beard and a hat and trying to hide out and be Thorin and not quite be. kind of play along with the gods.
All I want with Soren is I want them to explain how we got out of the wall.
It's a freaking wall. You had a hammer on him. Whatever. Like, it takes time. I'm a planeswalker. I'm not being stopped by a wall. To be fair, the wall is made by someone who can trap. It's like, oh, you're Eldrazi? You eat the world? Okay, fine. I'll put a rock here, there, and lock you away forever. So
And
the
it
walls
looks
don't
like Ashby going to town with value. Zelmus just couldn't keep up after that Ashiok.
Yeah, Ashiok. Very corner case for some decks, but for Phoenix, for Dread Horde, for the new Thief deck with You Be a Thief, it's backbreaking.
I still think that Sky Vanguard might just be my favorite card of the set. It's just something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. Repeat Token Maker with Evasion. Thank you very much. Get in all my decks.
But it's so squishy.
Yeah. But everything in that deck is squishy.
I know. That's why I can't play it.
No, it's got two defense. It doesn't die to Chain Whirler, therefore it's basically unstoppable in that deck.
A friend that's crying into a carnival somewhere. I want to introduce you to them. All right, how are we doing here? Do we have any more players available? Shall I dive down and give Ashby a taste of vampires?
You know, if you want to, I could stick around for one more game.
Yeah, sounds good.
We'll get Seawolf v
Yeah,
Ashby to end
Set
the
up my
night.
stream here.
Yeah.
I'll fill you in here. Give me 1 moment to get my stream going. I'll be ready and on. I don't even change my stream title. I'm playing Legend of Zelda. Don't pay attention to that.
Don't listen to his thing.
I mean,
Anyway.
Link is basically a vampire. Prove me wrong.
You can't die.
He's either a vampire or a Time Lord. And Time Lords only have 2 hearts, so he must be a vampire.
Okay, I shall bow to the call to not hit spoilers from you folks. I will see you on the combat side of things.
All right, have
Good
fun.
luck.
I'll see you again later on. Have a good night, folks. I will see you all around next week. Mistakes were made. I had to update.
Oh no!
Tragedy.
I can jump
Betrayal.
in instead if you'd like to swap. Then I can crack open my less good vampire deck.
I'll be fast. It takes me like a minute to update. It won't take long at all.
Okay. Although I'm definitely bringing vampires next week. For sure. That Knight of the Ebon Blade, so good.
Possibly the card of the set. That thing is a monster for. There are 2 awesome One-Mana vampires that came out. The uncommon and the rare are both beasts. Death Touch, Lifelink for the Dire Moon, and I pump up for Thorn Lieutenant. 6 mana pump 'em up. This vampire 3 mana pump it up. The same way. It's Mandus.
Not to mention the 2/3 flyer that gets a counter on it when you gain life.
That's not as great because the hard 2 black mana to cast is kind of a pain in the neck, especially in a
It's-
double colored deck.
That's true. But it's like a flying a Johnny's Pride Mate for 1 extra mana in black. I'm on board with this.
All right, so that's the best. That's the best black cards I've seen. About halfway through the update. I'll be done soon. White card I've seen brought back hasn't worked out yet, but I think will have value later on. The bring back 2 creatures or permanents of your choice that have destroyed this turn. I
Yeah,
think that's good.
it's
Like
a very
mid-game.
interesting card. I definitely want. I don't know. I want to be clever with it, but I haven't thought of any good ways to be clever with it yet.
Yeah, I've tried to see it in the vampire deck, and I'm usually tapped out when I want to cast it, so it doesn't work out too well.
Yeah, that's usually my problem with cards that bring back specifically that turn, or like you have to activate them right then and there. is you have to keep your mana open, and it just slows down your turn. Plus, then like compared to the pump spell, the 2/0 return the creature to the battlefield when it dies, the 1 and a black. That one's also really nice. I believe you really enjoy using that one, don't you, Clifford?
Yes, yes, I do. I can't lie. So hey, we have Seawolf loading up in the arena. So we will have the final match of the night, the Seawolf 1 versus Ashby, coming to you very, very shortly.
Seems like the challenges are sent. So once are activated by oh my god! That's such a good name!
Seawolf's got all the good names.
I'm jealous. I made my vampire deck at like 3 o'clock in the morning, so mine's just M20 vampires. I'm kind of jealous. But here we go, Seawolf versus Ashby. Ooh, this is a real quick hand.
Yeah,
This
that's
definitely feels like a keep, even though he's low on mana. Yeah, definitely.
lots of gas. Lots of gas on the other side also.
Yeah, this is gonna be real quick. Seawolf opting to go with the Ebon Blade.
That seems like a fair choice.
Ebon Blade into Vanguard, one of my favorite plays. Also, don't know what Seawolf was. Wait, is Ebon Blade even better? Ebon Legion even better than I thought it was? Was it, if any? Oh wow, I've been misplaying this whole time.
Ah, yes. It is a player.
Holy cow! That's so good! I didn't know!
Yeah, it's busted.
And then he just does it again! Although it's not instant, so he doesn't get Alarm the Clarion. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, I already thought that card was really good. Now it's just busted. Vanguard cracking in for 7 with the Ebon Blade, putting yet another counter on it. Right now, Seawolf threatening lethal. Rails Outburst, but once again, Vanguard.
Vanguard
Yeah, in
just
the
says,
defense?
"No, I want to hang around and keep playing, man."
And Seawolf cracking in for 7. Holy moly. Not quite lethal, but it's getting there. And boom.
That will be enough to get through game 1. And now Seawolf gets to look and what all do I want against this 5-color?
Yeah,
Good stuff.
Unbreakable I can see being really, really good here. Yeah, probably not going to want to lose the life for the card draw. The Champion of Dust, that makes sense. We do know Ashby has some pretty spicy cards, so the Tribunal also seems really good here. Man, I still can't get over that Ebon Legion play. I was gonna say turn 1, turn 2, and those it's really good, but I didn't realize you could counter on it turn 2. Oh, this unfortunately isn't a keep. This is though. What do you get rid of here? Yeah, Zealot makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't really need the card draw. Still get the turn 1 Ebon Legion. Turn 2 Lieutenant. Actually, this is exactly the curve that I was talking about earlier. Turn 1 Ebon Legion, turn 2 Lieutenant. Turn 3, Sorin into Sanctum Seeker. Swing out. And we know Ashby doesn't really have a creature-heavy deck, so this is definitely going to bring down the Sorin. Or not. Seawolf is keeping the defenses up, just in case Ashby pulls down a board wipe, which makes sense. Seawolf is already ahead, and they did enough damage to get that counter on the Ebon Legion, so it's already going to town. And here we go, time wipe, but Unbreakable Formation says no. It's like Seawolf was trying to decide whether or not to get the Sorin down, but just playing. The
No need.
Seeker.
Play Sorin next turn and then do dumb things with it.
This is true. Personally, I probably would have gotten them both down because nothing's really threatening the Sorin, and then you would have just gotten 2 cards for relatively the same value in terms of your swinging.
Yeah, that's a reasonable thought to have.
Ooh, nice. Now Seawolf being forced to sacrifice, though not sure why they didn't play the Sorin first for the counter, but that's okay.
Millennia to stand down now.
For the sack and 3 damage.
Yeah,
The blood.
That
take
makes
the
sense.
3 damage instead of the 1 damage.
There we go. Wow. Seawolf powering through those games.
And,
Holy moly.
And just like that, Seawolf showing the power of the vampires.
Yeah, vampires, pretty spicy. Yeah, not gonna lie, I usually don't see the sacrifice play for 3 damage, simply because I want to focus on the longevity and pumping of my vampires. You know, keep those counters going, keep them spread up, keep them strong. But
Never
yeah, if your
miss them.
opponent's at 3, just go for it.
Yeah, might as well just kill them.
I actually had a super spicy win just the other day where I had a vampire on the battlefield, 4 mana open, played a 1-drop, used a sacrifice on the Sorin, played the Sorin I had in hand, sacrificed my other vampire, 6 damage, 1 night game.
That seems good.
I'm sure my opponent was super mad after they saw that. But it was an extra spicy play, and I think that's going to call it for tonight. Eh, Clifford?
Yep, that will bring us to the end of another Wednesday Night Magic. Thank you everyone for hanging out.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, it is good to be back after our long 2-week break for GDQ, and then the GD flu the next week, and you know all the holidays last week, but also just being sick. But you know, planned ahead for being sick this time, so that worked out well.
Always plan for the GD flu.
For anyone that does not know, if you haven't heard yet, Speed Gaming in October from the 24th to the 27th is putting on Speed Gaming Live, a bunch of tournaments featuring 3 big main ones. Link to the Past Randomizer, Ocarina of Time Randomizer, and Mario Maker 2, and a bunch of other smaller tournaments. It's going to be happening at the old AGDQ Hotel in Herndon, Virginia. Tickets went on sale this week. It's $40 to get you a ticket, and we have a special block there for the hotel rooms. If you're interested in any of that, be sure to check out we have a Discord. We have a website. I know I should know all the commands, but I don't. So there's a link to the website. You go there, it'll get you into the Discord. We're gonna have a marathon. You can submit runs to the marathon. You can keep eyes on all the side tournaments that we're gonna have. It's all partnered with our good friends at Matcherino to make sure everything is working smoothly. So be sure to keep eyes on that because that's gonna be really exciting as it comes up. And yeah, next week we'll be back here again on Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for more fun magic. Maybe some wacky format next week. Maybe more standard. This is a really fun standard format. We might want to do more.
It is a pretty fresh, spicy standard, so I could definitely see us going another week of standard.
But with that, I think that'll bring us to the end. You guys have a great night, and we will see you soon.
Have a good evening, everybody.